GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good morning, Montreal. I'm Lauren Dupuis. We'll start with Mercier's petition to ease Route 138 congestion, then a quick look at the Orange Line's hour-long outage and a severe storm watch for the South Shore. Traffic's light with only minor delays. Over to you, Ryan.
Carey Price has been inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame as part of the 2026 class.
The Hall of Fame ceremony recognized Carey Price's career, confirming his 2026 class induction yesterday.
The induction ceremony took place at the Hall's Toronto venue, honoring Price as a goaltending great from Montreal.
All right, let's get into it, starting with today's top headlines and the latest updates across Montreal. Good morning, Montreal. The municipal government of Mercier will launch a petition today urging the provincial government to intervene on Route 138, the main thoroughfare that has choked South Shore commuters for years. City officials say rush hour traffic on the road has become a daily bottleneck, swelling travel times and prompting growing frustration among residents. In the petition, Mercier will request that Quebec allocate resources for widening, improved signaling, and alternate routes to ease the flow. The move comes after months of community meetings where drivers described gridlock as a barrier to work and school. Provincial ministers have not yet responded, but the city expects a formal submission within the coming weeks, hoping the province will prioritize the corridor in its infrastructure plan. If the province acts, officials say travel could improve by as much as 20%, cutting commute times and supporting local businesses along the corridor.
Authorities confirm the Montreal Film Lab will cease operations after its owner announced the shutdown on Friday afternoon. The facility, one of the few North American laboratories capable of processing film for professional productions, is grappling with a sharp decline in investment for local audiovisual projects. Owners and a coalition of independent filmmakers warned that reduced funding has made continued operation unsustainable. The closure process is now underway, with staff beginning to inventory equipment and filmmakers scrambling to secure alternative processing services. Around 20 staff members face imminent job loss, and the shutdown threatens the pipeline that nurtures emerging Quebec talent. Industry leaders note the lab's loss could force productions to seek costly alternatives abroad, potentially slowing the region's growing film sector. The city's cultural agencies have been contacted for possible support, but no definitive assistance has been pledged as the situation develops.
Mayor Soria Martinez Ferrada announced yesterday that city is unlocking $540,000 to renovate 45 vacant housing units for vulnerable residents. The funding will be directed to bring the empty properties up to standards, creating safe, affordable homes for those facing housing insecurity. The initiative comes as the city grapples with a deepening affordability crisis, prompting officials to tap idle units as a solution. The renovation plan is expected to prioritize families and individuals on waiting lists, with work slated to begin within weeks. City officials said the investment reflects a commitment to leverage existing housing stock and address needs while strategies are developed. Mayor Ferrada emphasized that the allocation is part of a broader effort to protect residents from rising rents and limited supply. Officials also noted that the city will continue to survey other vacant properties to expand the program later this year.
Yesterday, the Orange Line of the Metro was forced to halt during the dinner rush after an emergency situation prompted a rapid response from city services. For roughly 1 hour, trains stood still at stations from Côte-Verdue to Honoré-Beaugrand, leaving commuters waiting on platforms while crews worked to secure the line. Emergency responders arrived quickly, identified the issue and cleared it, allowing service to resume before the end of the peak period. STM officials confirmed that normal schedules were back in place and thanked passengers for their patience. No injuries were reported, and the interruption caused only minor delays. The quick restoration underscores the transit authority's ability to address unexpected problems and keep the system moving for riders across the island. STM monitors continue to track system performance throughout the night to ensure no further issues arise, and officials said they will review the incident to improve response protocols.
Yesterday, a severe storm watch was activated for multiple South Shore communities, as meteorologists warned of violent thunderstorms moving across the region. The alert covered areas from Longueuil to Brossard and extended to the western suburbs, urging residents to secure loose objects, avoid non-essential travel, and stay tuned for updates. Weather officials said the system could produce intense rain, strong winds, and isolated hail, with the potential for flash flooding in low-lying neighborhoods. Emergency services were placed on standby, and local schools were instructed to monitor conditions before dismissals. The watch remains in effect until late evening, after which authorities will decide whether to upgrade to a warning. Residents are asked to follow official channels for real-time information and heed any instructions from police or fire crews in the area. Up next, we break down the CAQ's St. Jérôme pick, former Councillor Carla Pierre-Paul, and its impact on local politics. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're feeling refreshed. Let's dive into today's local stories with Ryan Mercer, who's got the latest on the ground.
Carla Pierre-Paul, a former municipal councillor, was confirmed yesterday as the Coalition Avenir Quebec's candidate for the St. Jérôme riding, stepping in for outgoing Member of Parliament Yori Chassin. The announcement came as the governing party reshapes its slate after 33 legislators declared they will not seek re-election, and more than 30 withdrawal notices were filed. Alongside Pierre-Paul, the CAQ unveiled a handful of fresh faces for constituencies in the Montreal area. The selection reflects the party's push to present locally rooted candidates ahead of the upcoming campaign, and analysts point out that Pierre-Paul's municipal background could appeal to voters looking for hands-on experience. Party officials said the new lineup is intended to maintain continuity while introducing new perspectives as the current term draws to a close. Voters in St. Jérôme will see Pierre-Paul on the ballot when the next provincial election is called, marking a swift turnover in the region's representation.
Yesterday, a service interruption on the REM disrupted the line between Central and Panama stations during the weekday peak hour. The outage began at around 4:45 p.m. and left commuters waiting on platforms as trains halted. After a prolonged pause, REM officials restored movement, but trains are now operating at reduced speed while the system is inspected. Riders heading home from work were advised to expect longer travel times and to plan alternate routes. The quick resumption means the network is back in service for the evening rush, though the slower pace may affect connections to other lines. Authorities said the cause is under review and that safety checks will continue throughout the night. The interruption affected thousands of riders who depend on the REM for trips to downtown workplaces and schools. While the trains crawled, some passengers switched to bus routes or walked to next station to keep moving.
Strawberry fields across the province are bursting with fruit, and growers say the season is shaping up as the most plentiful in recent memory. Josiane Cormier of the Association of Strawberry and Raspberry Producers explained that steady rains over the past weeks have given the berries the moisture they need, resulting in high yields and top-tier quality. Farmers note the berries are firm, bright red, and sweet, meeting consumer expectations for fresh produce. The harvest, now well underway, is already feeding local markets and roadside stands, where shoppers can expect a wider selection than usual. Supermarkets and farmers' markets are receiving larger shipments, allowing baskets to be filled without the usual shortages. Because the season peaks in early summer, the extra crop could keep shelves stocked through the warm months ahead.
Yesterday, the West Island Aid Fund announced it will turn the former post office into a major community hub. The decision comes as food insecurity climbs across the West Island of Montreal, leaving more families struggling to put meals on the table. The new center will house a pantry, cooking classes, and shared kitchen space, giving residents a reliable source of nutritious food and a place to learn budgeting skills. Local schools hope to use the facility for after-school programs, while seniors look forward to a gathering spot that reduces isolation. The fund expects construction to begin within weeks, with doors opening later this year. Officials say the project aims to address immediate hunger while building longer-term resilience for the neighborhood. Many residents expressed optimism, noting the hub could become a lifeline for those facing daily food shortages.
Brendan Gallagher was named an honorary citizen of Montreal on June 25th after 14 seasons wearing the Canadiens jersey. The City Council presented the honor during a ceremony at the historic venue, recognizing his long-standing contribution to the local hockey scene. In the same announcement, Gallagher confirmed he had formally requested a trade, ending a career spent entirely with the Canadiens. Officials said the request follows a period of intense fan support and numerous playoff runs, though the team's future roster plans remain under review. The honorary citizenship ceremony highlighted his community involvement, including youth hockey clinics and charitable events. While his departure marks the end of an era for longtime supporters, the city's tribute underscores the lasting impact he's had on the sport and on local fans. Fans gathered outside the arena, waving flags and sharing memories of his most memorable goals.
Now let's turn to the forecast and see what today's weather has in store for us.
A westward jet at 97 kilometers per hour steers dry, high pressure into Montreal, suppressing rain. On this date, the all-time high reached 32.5 degrees Celsius in 2021, a brief spike during an unprecedented heat wave that pushed the region into the upper 30s for several days. The record low of 12.9 degrees Celsius fell in 2015, when an Arctic air mass tunneled southward, delivering frost despite otherwise mild spring temperatures. By contrast, the climatological average high sits around 22 degrees and the average low near 15, placing today squarely between the historic extremes. The live radar screen is completely quiet across the province, with no precipitation echoes in sight. A high-pressure ridge is dominating, and the fast westward jet aloft is capping any ascent that could generate clouds. With the air mass remaining dry and stable, we expect the clear skies to persist through the afternoon, and the radar will stay empty as the day unfolds. Turning now to today's outlook. At 7 a.m., the sky is clear, and the air feels damp at 15 degrees with humidity near 98%, a sign of the lingering moisture despite the high pressure. Pressure is near average and nudging upward, reinforcing a sinking motion that discourages cloud formation. The jet stream overhead, blowing west at 97 kilometers per hour, is reinforcing the ridge and keeping the air mass dry. Temperatures will climb steadily, reaching 23 degrees by midday, then 24 in the late afternoon as sunshine peaks. The UV index sits at 4. Winds remain light, shifting from a northwest breeze of 4 kilometers per hour early to a gentle southwesterly of 12 kilometers per hour by evening. No weather alerts are active. Saturday brings a high of 25 degrees and a low of 16, with mostly clear skies as the ridge persists. Sunday clears further, reaching a high of 27 and a low of 17, perfect for outdoor activities under a bright sky. Monday continues the warm trend, high 27 and low 18, still mainly clear as the jet stream remains aloft. Tuesday sees a shift to overcast conditions, a high of 30 and a low of 19, as a slow-moving low-pressure system nudges in from the west, bringing lingering clouds. Wednesday tops the week with a high of 33 and a low of 24, overcast and a 20% chance of rain as the system deepens, setting the stage for a possible wet spell later in the day. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunrise is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, traffic updates, a peek at tonight's Comedy All-Stars show, and the Marché Saint and Scavenger Hunt. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Road closure on Cavendish Boulevard in Montreal is the biggest hit this morning. The block between St. Louis and St. Sulpice is shut, forcing drivers onto Rue St. Sulpice and Avenue des Pins. Expect a 5-minute buildup near the closure and a steady stream of traffic spilling onto the nearby boulevard. A second major disruption sits at the St. Patrick and Bridge Streets intersection in La Sud-Ouest. That corner is fully closed, diverting eastbound traffic onto Rue St. Patrick and southbound vehicles onto Bridge Street. Drivers should allow an extra 10 minutes and watch for temporary signs. On the construction front, water main work continues on Notre Dame Street West near Robert Bourassa Boulevard. The lane reduction creates a short queue, but traffic moves at a crawl rather than a stop. Overall, aside from those hotspots, the rest of the network runs smoothly. No transit delays are reported, and the afternoon outlook remains clear, with only minor slowdowns expected around the construction zone.
Diana Krall takes the stage at Place des Arts today, delivering her signature blend of piano and voice as part of the Festival International de Jazz. Jazz lovers will find the perfect soundtrack for a Saturday morning coffee, and the city's biggest jazz celebration is in full swing across venues. If you're craving high-energy spectacle, Cirque Extreme Canadian lands at Place Belle in La Vieille, where aerial feats and daring acrobatics turn the arena into a playground of wonder. It's a family-friendly thrill that promises a break from the ordinary. For tech-savvy explorers, the Formula experience rolls through on Robert Boulevard, offering interactive pop culture installations, panels and live demos that let you step inside the world of racing and innovation. And looking ahead, tomorrow St. Vincent returns to the symphonic stage at Salle Wilfrid Pelletier, pairing her indie hits with a full orchestra for a one-of-a-kind concert you won't want to miss. And now here's Tyler with sports.
Big honors in hockey and a tough loss on the soccer pitch. A costly result for Montreal Roses FC. Ottawa Rapid handed them a 2-1 defeat in what was a top-2 NSL showdown. According to CBC Sports Soccer, first place Ottawa now holds a 4-point lead over the second-place Roses in the standings. Canadiens forward Brendan Gallagher has received one of Montreal's highest civic honors. The City of Montreal named him an honorary citizen, with a ceremony held at City Hall Thursday afternoon, according to CBC Sports NHL. A legendary save for the ages, Carey Price is officially headed to the Hockey Hall of Fame. The Montreal Canadiens goaltending great was elected to the 2026 class alongside Patrice Bergeron, Pekka Rinne, Keith Tkachuk, and Cindy Curley, per CBC Sports NHL.
Marché Sainte-Anne, tucked in the historic center of Sainte-Anne-de-Bellevue, is turning Market Day into a game. This Saturday, June 27, 2026, vendors are launching a bilingual, family-friendly scavenger hunt that sends shoppers hunting for clues among stalls of seasonal fruit, cheese, and handcrafted goods. The market, a staple since the early 20th century, draws both longtime residents and newcomers alike. The event is designed to draw new faces onto the aisles, showcase the region's produce, and give kids a playful way to learn French and English. For the neighborhood, it means more foot traffic for local growers and a chance for neighbors to connect over shared discoveries. It's places like Marché that keep Montreal's community spirit fresh and thriving. Stay tuned for a heartwarming moment as Canadiens forward Brendan Gallagher receives honorary citizenship, celebrating community spirit across our city.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From City Hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on GMna for the local sunset, Montreal's evening newscast.
On a crisp Saturday morning in the Plateau neighborhood, the scent of fresh coffee drifts from the open doors of Mon Lapin, where Chef Marie-Claude welcomes a line of regulars with a warm smile. Across the street, the bustling brunch crowd at Le Petit Mountain hums with conversation, while the sleek dining room of Takei glistens under soft amber light, and the historic bistro Café Saint Laurent prepares its famed smoked salmon tartine. Yesterday, each of these 4 Montreal establishments received a quiet phone call from the world's 50 best organization, confirming their place among the continent's top 50 restaurants. The moment the call reached Mon Lapin's kitchen, the staff paused, eyes widening as the name, Fifth, echoed through the cramped prep area, a rank that places the modest rabbit-themed eatery alongside the continent's most celebrated tables. The news rippled through the neighborhood, sparking spontaneous celebrations on the sidewalks and a shared sense that Montreal's culinary heart beats louder than ever. It's a reminder that dedication, community, and a love for good food can lift us all higher.
On a sunny Saturday morning on St. Laurent Boulevard, a small crowd gathered outside the historic Theatre Rialto, coffee cups in hand, as Montreal's theater blogger Maya Delorier live-streamed the news that Alan Clifford's witty musical parody will soon open in Toronto. Maya, who has followed the show from its fan-made rehearsals in a Brooklyn loft, described the moment the cast stepped onto a modest stage for their first read-through, their laughter echoing through the cramped space like friends sharing a secret. The parody, a clever twist on a beloved Canadian television romance, first won over New York audiences off Broadway, and the buzz is now traveling east. In the crowd, retired teacher Jacques Tremblay recalled how the songs reminded him of the improvised verses his students sang in the 1980s, and he smiled, saying the humor felt like a warm hug from an old friend. When Maya announced that the limited Toronto run begins on July 9, the audience erupted in spontaneous applause, their faces lit by the sunrise over the St. Lawrence. It's a reminder that a good laugh can bridge cities and generations alike.
Thank you, Montreal, for watching the local sunrise. Today's quick recovery of the Orange Line Metro reminded us how resilient our city can be. I'm Lauren Dupuis, and I look forward to bringing you more news tomorrow morning. Stay safe, stay curious, and see you then.